What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for all you rascals and rapscallions out there. Today we have another horror review, and this one is 2015's Final Girls. This is directed by Todd Skalson. That can't be a real name, Todd Skalson. That's pretty cool. But Final Girls, I've seen this on Amazon for the longest time and thought about it. The cover art makes it look kind of corny, but what sold me on it is they have quite a few independent film awards. So I thought, why not give it a chance? I'm a really big fan of Adam Devine. I think that dude is absolutely hilarious. Love Workaholics. I love This Is Important podcast. Check that out if you guys haven't. It's very funny. But yeah, I threw this on just the other night, maybe 2 nights ago. And I'm going to tell you guys, I was so pleasantly surprised with this fucking movie. This, especially for PG-13 and something 2015, this movie was great. I'll give you the plot. It's about this young girl, I believe her name was Max, and she has kind of a famous mother that starred in an 80s slasher movie. I forget what it was called off the top of my head. Camp Bloodbath. And it's kind of like a Friday the 13th movie, and in the beginning of the movie, it shows her with her mom. Her mom goes in for like a movie audition, and she keeps getting typecasted as like that scream queen. But, spirits are still high between the mother and daughter until they get in a car accident, which this is actually the second movie I've reviewed in a row where the kid survives a car accident where their mother dies. That's kind of weird. Shit, knock on wood. About to call my mom and say, drive home safe. So 3 years later after the death, I have this dude here, forgot his name. He's like a super fan of this horror movie, just like, all of us are with Friday the 13th. And he's trying to get this girl to come to the movie theater. They're going to screen this old 80s horror movie for its anniversary. And she comes along reluctantly. She meets this kind of like good looking jock who's like really nice to her and everything. And they kind of go as a date. While they're in this movie theater, I think there was a couple guys like smoking and drinking in there, and the alcohol hits the ground. The amber of the flame hits the alcohol. The whole theater goes into flames. And so the main girl, Max, her guy, pretty much most everyone on the cover, the group of kids, there's about 5 of them, they try to get out of the fire, so they actually cut their way through the movie screen. And it actually makes them enter the movie, the 80s slasher. And then from there, the whole movie is pretty much them trying to get out of the film to the final scene and back to reality. And a movie like this could do wrong, but it didn't. This delivered on every level. Such a good satire and homage to Homage Johnson. Such a good throwback to 80s horror. I loved it right off the bat. Let me tell you what I loved in this movie, what I didn't like. First of all, the lighting in this movie, nice and bright, just like the 80s. I loved it. It made this movie vibrant. They had such great cinematography in this film. It was shot great, especially for an indie film. But other than that, strange that's the first thing I lead off with, but I love the characters in this movie. It's so much fun watching the kids from 2015 interact with the kids from the 1980s, just the slang and just how they interact and just the confusion between the two at certain points. And there were so many fun things about this movie, in one of the opening scenes when they enter the movie, they roll up in the van. The camp counselors, they're like, we're on our way to the camp, the directions, and they say something kind of weird to them. They just drive away. Then it goes 93 minutes later. They pull up again. They say something weird again. They drive off. 93 minutes later, the movie keeps running. If you sit in the same spot at that time in the movie, it will come back to you. And I thought that was kind of a fun little twist to this, not twist, but a little part of the movie. It wasn't until the third time around where the main fanboy guy, he's like, yeah, we're counselors too, and they pick him up and bring him in the van and head off to the camp. This movie has so many fun tropes from the 80s. I was loving it so much. They got every stereotype of every character. Adam Devine in this movie is fucking hilarious. I wonder how hard he was really making these guys laugh when they're filming this. But I guess the biggest point of this movie is when Max, I believe her name is, I'm gonna if I fuck this up, yeah, Max. I was like, if I'm saying the wrong goddamn name, but her mom ends up like waking up in the backseat of the van, and when she sees her mom who passed away, it's like she's about to start crying, and she plays it cool. They can't just tell them like, oh, this is a movie and we're in it. They sound crazy, right? So she starts trying to develop a relationship with her mother through the movie, and she's also trying to stop her from getting laid in the movie, because that's what happens. Because they keep bringing up these rules of horror, like they would say in Scream, like, oh, if you're having sex, the killer's gonna come get you, which is true. That was another funny thing. It's like they tried to bring the killer towards them at one point. They're like, just simulate sex and he'll start coming. Metaphorically, that is, like walking to the cabin. But yeah, thanks for people hanging in here with this review. I'm all over the place with this one. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. What I didn't like, though, obviously not enough gore for my liking, and I would say some of the jokes fell a little flat, but for what it was, I thought they were pretty funny. I don't really have many complaints about this. Maybe the third act dragged a little bit, but this movie hit me close in the heart, man. It was a throwback to the 80s, and it was very surprisingly, I got teary-eyed at one point where the daughter is talking to the mother, and just like the dialogue they have at certain aspects of this movie, it's like, it's heartbreaking just watching this girl. She wants her mom back so bad, and she's got this young movie version of her, and her mom wants more than what her character is in the movie, and they kind of blur the lines between movie and reality, which they do the whole film, which is what makes it fun. And this is definitely a horror comedy, so it's like the fact they can, keyword horror, but then they mix in the comedy, the shit will have you rolling. And then the fact they can get kind of serious and deep with it on serious issues, good lighting, good filming, Adam Devine telling jokes. I mean, I got no complaints over here. Yeah, this movie was great. This is definitely, just like the one I reviewed last week, this is definitely a film you could throw on around a lot of your friends, and you don't have to pay 100% attention. You can crack a couple beers and have some fun. Just a very overall fun movie. I would highly, highly suggest this to anyone. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any final thoughts. I think that's pretty much about it. Thought the killer looked a little too much like Jason, but I think that was kind of the point. And the ending in this, they have a little trick ending at the very end of it, which is kind of fun. But yeah, especially for a PG-13 horror movie, something that came out in the last 6 years, this is one of the best horror movies I've seen in a while that came out recently. This movie kicks fucking ass. Yeah, so check this one out. If you guys have seen this, once again, like I say, leave comments in the comment box down below. Tell me what you think of this film. If there's any other movies you guys want me to review, let me know and I shall get to it. Your wish is my command. Other than that, hope everyone's doing good. Blood Guts Gore. I'll check you guys next time.